Hi guys, and welcome to Wilde. Today we're here with Matt from I Am Warface. Hi Matt, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thanks.
Awesome.
Very well.
It's lovely to have you here. We're very excited. First of all, before we go into anything else, tell us the meaning behind I Am Warface.
Okay, so it was basically a solo project I started a little while back. I've been in various bands, you know, and the thing is, when you're in a band with a lot of conflicting sort of interests, you know, things generally, you know, things get thrown into the pot and it just becomes a mess at the end of the day. So when my last band split up, a producer friend of mine said, just go it alone, you know, write your own stuff and the band members will come and, you know, this, that and the other. So yeah, it kind of started it. And just started writing music that I wanted to write, you know, which is very sort of electro rock kind of based stuff. And eventually found the band members, you know, people that wanted to play live and stuff, so we can do live shows. And the name actually, because my surname's Warnford, I used to call myself Warface on Facebook, and I just kind of thought that's a pretty cool name for a band, so I named myself Warface. And then soon after realized there was about 500 other bands called Warface. So it was actually a friend of mine in New York. She came up with the I Am bit, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And no one's called I Am Warface. So yeah, that's where the name came from, really. So but it kind of sticks a little bit because I've never really sort of gone with the crowd, or gone with what other people are doing. So there is a sort of slight rebellious punk element, you know, sort of ethos behind what I'm doing. So kind of fitted with the I Am Warface as well, you know. And sometimes when we go on stage, we wear war paint and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of fun.
Absolutely, and it's, as you said, it's sort of a part of your branding. For those who have not heard your music before, how would you describe your music?
I'd say if the Prodigy, Kasabian, Stone Temple Pilots, and Massive Attack, and maybe a bit of Depeche Mode had a baby, then that's kind of what you're looking at. You know, it's very rock influence. I've always been really into my kind of LA rock. You know, like back in the day. You know, I was into the grunge scene as well. Yeah, you know, I've always been in that. You know, Guns N' Roses. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, yeah, it's a variant of that. But very electronic kind of based, so it's still rock music, but it's electronic slant to it.
And where would you say your main inspirations come from when it comes to writing?
Probably frustration, to be honest. It's difficult to say. I mean, obviously with everything that's been going on the last sort of year and a half, I've had a bit of writer's block lately. You know, I'm coming out of it now, which is good. But yeah, generally the way I write music, there's not that much I listen to at the moment, you know, new bands and old bands and everything that really kind of gets me going that much. So I kind of write out of a necessity that I need to write music that makes me excited, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where it comes from. It's more like a boredom, because I you know, occasionally there'll be bands that come along where I'm just like, wow, you know, love them, you know, brilliant, you know, something brand new and fresh, but it's quite far and few between at the moment. So it's just born out of a necessity to sort of pleasure myself, I suppose. Oh God, that sounded really rude, didn't it?
Not for sure. I know. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And in regards to your own, like, your personal taste in music, who is it that you're listening to right now? Now, it doesn't have to be modern or new necessarily. It's just an artist that you are listening to at the moment.
Well, I mean, Massive Attack, it's always a good one, you know, especially the Mezzanine album. I think it's an absolute masterpiece, you know. Yeah, I tell you, the latest band I really fell in love with was Ghost. Do you know the band Ghost? They're very sort of, I mean, they've only been around since I think 2011, and they're hopefully releasing their 5th album pretty soon, but they're pretty mad, you know. They sound like something you would have got in the 80s, like oh God, I can't think of the name of the band now. They're very, very sort of old school 80s, you know, heavy rock kind of stuff. The Scorpions, you know, remember the
Oh yeah, yeah.
Scorpions?
Okay, very
So
cool.
they're not a million miles away from that. But the singer, he wears a mask every time. Every album he plays a different character, same singer, but he wears a mask, and he dressed up like a kind of pope with a skull face, and all the band members have like chrome devil masks. So yeah, it's a great concert. I mean, they're huge at the moment. I mean, we went to see them at Wembley Arena last year, I think it was, the year before. Absolutely packed. But yeah, I mean, just the songwriting is fantastic, and they've got such a kind of, you know, the image and everything. I mean, it's cheesy and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but fantastic. But,
that's
yeah,
the nice thing about that era of rock, though, isn't it? As you said, have a little bit of a humor to it as well. I know that I love it, so I'll be sure to check them out. So you are also Brighton based.
Yes.
Would you tell us what are your favorite venues music wise in Brighton?
Well, so far, I mean, sort of based on venues we've played, really. I mean, Concord 2 is great. York, I think my favorite is Green Door Store, though. I love that. I've played there many times.
He loves the Green Door Store.
It's just such a great sound, and because, you know, obviously it's under the arches, so you know, the ambience is really great in there, you know, the acoustics and everything, and it's a relatively small venue, so you don't need that many people in there, but you know, 100 people, and it's absolutely packed, and great atmosphere and everything else, and the staff that run it are amazing as well. So yeah, Green Door Store.
A lovely place, isn't it? A lovely place all around.
It is, yeah.
Where can we see you play next?
Okay, so we've got, hang on, I need to look on my phone.
That's okay.
So we have got one. Right, so the next place we're playing live is on Halloween, actually. It's is it Bar 42 in Worthing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's Psycho Flesh Fest. So it's like proper sort of goth, you know, that kind of thing. You know, S&M type sort of dress code. So that should be quite amusing.
That's awesome. That sounds like a right fun event. And then after that, you also do Off the Record Festival in Brighton at the Brunswick as well, where we'll be able to meet you in person.
Sorry, you glitched out again a little bit there. Yeah, so the one after that is November 13th for the Brunswick, which should be good. And then I think we've got one on November the 28th for Camden Rocks, which is in London, obviously. And then we just got a bunch of festivals next year, really, which should be good fun. One of them is called Corrosion Fest. It's up north, I think. And then we got, I don't even know the name of this festival. All I've put down is it's festival in Somerset. And then Alice's Wicked Tea Party, which looks bonkers. A lot of the bands that are playing there are kind of on the same sort of playing field as what we're doing, you know, similar sort of sounds. So that should be completely mad. And then Into the Wilde Festival, which is in sort of Milton Keynes area in July, which we've played every single since they started about 5-6 years ago, and we've played every year, and it's just a great party, you know. Nice. It's just normally about sort of 700-800 people just partying in a really nice picturesque landscape in the country, so should be a bit of a laugh.
It's nice to see how that you've got so many gigs coming up and different types of events, especially after obviously the last couple of years and things being kind of closed down and not really knowing what's going to happen next. It's really nice to see bands up on the roll, things being back to normal again, and having things to look forward to.
It's so nice. I mean, I think 2020 was the first time we had like a whole year's worth of festivals booked, and the whole lot got cancelled. And you know, I was like, oh, what's going on with that, you know? So yeah, it's lovely. And we did a gig, did a show about a month and a bit ago, Green Door Store, and it was so nice to be on stage, and we managed to pack it out. I was almost brought to tears by just the sheer joy of just, you know, having like an hour on stage acting like an idiot, you know, acting like a dickhead for an hour. I love it. So yeah, great fun.
And what are you working on next?
So well, I'm working on the second album at the moment. This is my studio. Actually in here at the moment. Yeah, I'm working on the second album. Like I said, I've had a bit of writer's block about over the last sort of 5 months. There's been one particular song I've been working on for about 5-6 months. And you know, sometimes you get a track and you get to a certain point, you hit a brick wall with it, and sometimes you have to walk away. And this has happened to me on many occasions. Probably why I take so long to write stuff. And then you go back to it and you hear it with fresh ears and you know exactly what to do. So yeah, I'm kind of at that stage with this one at the moment. I've had a bit of a brainwave and I'm like, okay. But yeah, we're probably about halfway through, you know. The writing in some of the songs have been mixed already, so some of the songs are finished, but we can't really release anything until the whole thing is done. So I've got all the artwork's done for the album. It's just getting the songs written for it, really. I've got the concept for it. I've done the artwork, you know, everything else, it's all sort of there, ready to go. I just need to finish off about another 4 songs, get them mixed properly, and then, yeah, it should be good. So probably be next year, I reckon, maybe in about a year's time. So sort of August, September time, I'll try and release the second album.
Amazing. Well, all of Warface's social links and music is linked down below. So make sure that you check it out, stay on top, find out when the next album is going to come out. Thank you so much for today. It's been great getting to know you, and we're really looking forward to meeting you in person at the festival as well.
Oh, bless you, my dear. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you as well. Yeah, hope to see you in November at the Brunswick as well. Should be good.